भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सङ्ग्रजहतं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सह गण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So we have getting into the second chapter today. So before we get into the second chapter, we will just have a quick revision of the first chapter. So today we have few devotees joining today. I'm just checking if Shitala Mataji has joined. No, Shitala Mataji have joined. No.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so you're in Jerry. Okay, no problem. So what we will do is we'll just revise first chapter. Then for Shitala Mataji, Ram Prabhu, and Mohan Prabhu, we'll have a separate session and then complete the first chapter. But today we will initially discuss with the main points of first chapter and then get into the second chapter today. Okay, so that is how it is. So first chapter, what is the title of the first chapter?
Observing the armies at the battlefield.
Observing the armies. Okay, so what is the okay, before we get into it, I think we had two groups yesterday pending, right? So I think three Prabhujis and then another set of three Prabhujis. Maybe we can just discuss, or you can share that particular point and then we'll get into the next sections. Okay, so Sudhir Prabhu and then two more Prabhujis, right? Who were there in the second group? I think Dhruv and Shreyant, no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Abhijit Prabhu, I think, yeah.
Yeah,
Anand Prabhu
I was there.
And Anand Prabhu, Dhruv and Shreyant. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Right. So we are doing text 10 to text 20. So in text 10, Duryodhan describes his army that our strength is immeasurable, we are protected by grandfather Bhishma, and then he's very arrogant about his army and he's asking everyone to protect grandfather Bhishma. Right, from text 10 to 11, he's asking everyone to protect grandfather Bhishma. Then after that, text 12, Bhishma blows his conch, which is like gives joy to Duryodhana and the Kuru army. Then after that, text 13 to 14 to 15, they describe all the tumultuous sounds and all the conch shells being blown. And it is mentioned that the Kurus are scared, and but the Pandavas are not scared because the side and they have taken shelter of Krishna, and whoever takes shelter of Krishna has no need to be scared of anything. But the Kurus are scared because they are not on the right side. They don't have Krishna with them.
Okay.
Then text 16 to 18, it also mentions the conch shells of everyone. Yeah. Then after that, text 19. Text 20. Then after that, is described the flag of Hanuman on Arjuna's chariot, which indicates that because Arjuna is following the previous fighting acharya, which was Hanuman. And then these are the signs of victories of the Pandavas also. One of the signs of victory of the Pandavas.
Okay, fine. Anand Prabhu, you want to add anything?
No problem.
Okay. So between
Dhruv has summarized well.
okay. So between 20th sloka, what we understand, there are so both the sides of the army, the Kurus and the Pandavas have lined up, and then blowing the conch shell, and then just to give support or just to give confidence to Duryodhana, Bhishma blows his conch shell, and then finally end up with that particular section where Krishna comes in the chariot along with Arjuna, and then the chariot is given by Agni Dev, and then we have Hanuman flag on top. So these are some of the signs of victory for the Pandavas. Okay, so that is what Prabhupada writes in the purport. The place itself is one of the important sign. Then Krishna is there. Then the chariot given by Agni Dev, and then Hanuman is also there. So these are all some of the reasons that definitely the side of Pandavas will be victorious. Okay, so the next thing. So how the entire chapter is divided? If somebody is going to ask you what is the summary of first chapter, you need to divide into these three categories. First category is about the importance of Dharma Kshetram, setting the scene, who's there, what is it, who's going to talk. Sanjay is conveying it to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is asking what is happening before the start of the war, why the war has not started, who is there. So those are the specific questions, and Sanjay is responding. In response, he's talking about where is Duryodhana addressing Bhishma, Duryodhana addressing Dronacharya, and then followed by other things. Second is all about the description about all the different kind of warriors or kings aligned on both the sides, and they're blowing up their conch shells, etc. Third is the last important portion of Arjuna's Vishada Yoga, Arjuna's lamentation when he sees his own relatives, his own friends, his own grandparents, grandfathers, everybody lined up. Okay, so in that, what is it? He's giving all kind of reasons. So that is how we have to say when we say the first chapter. Okay, yes, Prabhuji's last group. Yeah.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. From verse number 21 to 26 is where Arjuna says Lord Krishna to draw his chariot in the middle of the battlefield. Here, we need to understand that Lord Shri Krishna is Bhaktavatsal, so he obeys the orders of his devotees, and he's so merciful that he obeys. So Arjuna says Lord Krishna to draw the chariot in the middle of the battlefield, and Krishna does that. And he takes him in front of Bhishma and Drona and all the other warriors. So the Lord actually understands his mind, and he can understand that Arjuna will give reasons and he will not fight. So Lord understood his mind. So this is from verse 21 to 26, and then from verse 27, until the end, almost till 46, almost 20 verses. Arjuna starts giving reasons to Lord Shri Krishna that why he doesn't want to fight. So starting with he's compassionate, for his relatives. He sees his own, his guru, his grandfather, his brothers, his friends, and he has compassion for them. His body starts trembling. His Gandiva is slipping from his hand. His skin is burning. Then he gives excuses such as, there's no use of the kingdom, even in exchange for the three worlds. Then he goes on to say about the sins which will overcome if he slay the aggressors. So Prabhupada ji explains the 6 types of aggressors here, and Prabhupada ji also explains that there's no obligation for him to fight because the effect is not good. So Arjuna uses that reason that he doesn't have any obligation to fight with his own kinsmen. Then he says Lord Krishna that he won't be happy by killing his own kinsmen. Further, he goes on to explain. He gives a wide variety of reasons. So he talks about the family tradition which will get lost, and the irreligion which will happen, the woman getting polluted, there'll be unwanted progeny, and this will cause hellish life, ancestors. So he's giving a wide variety of reasons why he should not fight. The ancestors will fall down. There won't be because there won't be any pindan, because of which there'll be unwanted children. This will destroy the family tradition, and once family tradition is destroyed, people actually dwell in hell. So these are greatly sinful acts, and he'll be responsible for it. Krishna that he doesn't want to fight because of these reasons. At the end, the last 3 shlokas, he actually gives up, and he says that it is better for the sons of Dhritarashtra to kill him rather than he kill them and get all this sins. So the last verse is when Arjuna casts his his bow and arrow aside. He sits down he's overwhelmed in grief. Thank you.
Nice. Okay. So this last portion of the first chapter is very important, where Arjuna starts giving all kind of reasons not to fight. So this all kinds of reasons will continue in the second chapter also, to first 5 slokas. But most importantly, this section is where he's talking about Varna Shankara. He's talking about Kulakshaya, Kulakshanti. So he's talking about Kula Dharma, Jati Dharma, everything will get destroyed when the men or the leaders of the society are getting killed. So the women will be exploited, and children, unwanted progeny will come. So all these things will happen, and then I will get papam eva share. So I will get papam also, sin, and then it will lead to hell. And finally, he's saying even this I've heard from the shastras, that if you don't give pindadan, like so there will not be anybody to give pindadan to the ancestors. So then that also will be affected. So these are some of the reasons Arjuna is giving. So that reasons is divided into 4 categories. The compassion portion of Arjuna, that his own kinsmen, his own friends, relatives, there is no enjoyment there. And then talking about sinful reactions, everything. Atatayana, like so killing these people will get a lot of papam, right? Sinful reactions. The last is about the entire dynasty getting destruction. So finally, what is happening is he's not able to shokam samigna manasaha. Shokam samigna manasaha is Shokam will overcome the manasa. Manasa means the mind. So when Shokam overcomes the mind, then you will never be able to do anything. You will be completely bewildered state. You don't know what you are doing. You will never get into any kind of a very correct action. Right? So that is where the mind of Arjuna is being rebuilt. So the last little portion of that we saw yesterday. So that is where it ends. So he sits down, right? So earlier when he started, he stood up with a lot of pride and Kshatriya mentality to see who has come to the fight. But last, what happens? It ends where Arjuna just sits down. So this is an interesting situation now. From second chapter onwards, we will get into the portions where Krishna starts speaking. So till first chapter, there is no situation where Krishna starts giving Bhagavad Gita. First chapter is all about setting the scene, introduction, and then the mindset which is required, because what is required for somebody to get Bhagavad Gita, for somebody to get knowledge?
We need to surrender actually and
Arjuna,
humbly ask questions.
No, not surrender is not the last. Surrender is the very last point. So what is
We
required?
should,
So,
we should get it from the parampara. We should
okay.
get the knowledge from the
Okay.
parampara.
One should-
With regard to, let me hold on. Let me ask.
Inquire. I mean that mentality to inquire or confuse.
No. Wait. I will tell. What is it that I want is what is told by Prabhupada in the first chapter. So there is one quality exhibited by Arjuna.
Being a friend of Krishna.
Being a friend of Krishna. No. Which line is it? Okay, 1 second.
So when he has to be kind and soft-hearted person.
Yes.
So those kind of people, like Prabhupada ji explains that that they are fit to receive self-knowledge.
Correct. Exactly. What is that sloka?
46 sloka, purport.
46th purport. Correct.
The last one.
Point. Second chapter. Yeah. So who is fit to receive knowledge? Who is fit to receive Bhagavad Gita knowledge? Who is fit to receive self-knowledge? Who is fit to get everything? So Prabhupada is making a very nice thing. A person who is soft-hearted, kind in the devotion service of the Lord. So that is where knowledge will come. So it is getting surrendering, following the Guru Parampara, all will come then later on. So what is more important is being very humble, being very kind, being very soft-hearted. Then only you are fit to get knowledge. So very nice terminology. But that is how devotion service is being defined. So it is not about being very panditvam, very intelligent, very knowledgeable. These are all secondary aspects. Whether even surrendering will all come in the next part. But what is the qualification is like You have to be saralta. In Hindi, they'll call saralta. Saralta means very, very innocent, very, very humble. The saralta or the innocence will only be able to make somebody get knowledge. Okay, because you should have an open mindset. You should be in a position to accept certain things. So in the next chapters and all, Krishna will say so many things. Okay, but if your mind is not ready to accept, if your intelligence is not broad enough to accept, then that will never get into a proper knowledge, right? So that is where whenever we try to gain knowledge for somebody, we have to be very humble with them, and at the same time we should be very open with the state of mind, right? So that is where Prabhupada is making this nice point. Good, thank you, Prabhupada. So this is a very important qualification of a student, a disciple like Arjuna. So the Arjuna had a very kind and soft-hearted state, compassion, overcome. So that is why, even though he's a great warrior, he's a great Kshatriya, everything, but the moment he sees his own friends, relatives, grandfathers, that overcomes the other portion of Kshatriya, and then he is eligible to become a student of Krishna to get Bhagavad Gita. So what is the eligibility of Arjuna is all these things. Why Arjuna is all these things. So, what made Krishna to give Bhagavad Gita only to Arjuna or through Arjuna is all these qualities. Okay. So even among devotees, even when an acharya tries to identify a disciple, he will see the qualities of that particular person. What kind of qualities that person has. So based on the qualities and the service, the mood, attitude will determine the particular seva to that particular student or a disciple. Okay. So that is where we also see so many wonderful devotees, even though come from a very different background, normal and everything, that doesn't matter. They'll be given a particular position, particular role to play, and they do wonderful quality, wonderful seva. Why? It is all because of their attitude. Okay. So in Nectar of Devotion and Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami says the very first important thing: what makes one improve in a spiritual activity, what makes one grow in a spiritual activity is not about chanting, is not about surrendering, is not about identifying acharya, is not about performing seva. All those things is secondary. Primarily, what is the most important thing is the attitude of that person. If somebody wants to advance in their Krishna conscious way or advance in their spiritual activity, it all depends on the attitude of that particular person. So Rupa Goswami makes that point very clear. So it's kind of a very broad statement, but that is what is more important for us to understand. Clear? Any questions on first chapter before we get into second chapter? So Sheetala Matalaji, Ram Prabhu and others, we will have one small session for you for first chapter alone. Then we'll get into the second chapter. So from today onwards, we'll get into the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Clear? See, you will never get an opportunity to read through again. So, but my request is just go through the first chapter again one more time. Any main points? So Prabhupada is making this compassion. Okay, then the enjoyment portion. Then sinful papam evashraya dasma. So the papam portion, then all these things. Okay, so he is giving destruction of the dynasty, destruction of death of family members, then family tradition will go away. Then women will be degraded, unwanted progeny or unwanted children will come. Then jati dharma, all the community projects, welfare activities, everything will be destroyed. Okay. So finally, Arjuna just cast his bow and arrow, and then he escapes. Okay. So being an associate of Arjuna, of Krishna, Arjuna was above ignorance, but Arjuna was put into ignorance on the battlefield of Kurukshetra just to question Krishna about the problems of life, so that the Lord could explain them for the benefit of the future generation of him. So that is where we understand. So Arjuna is put in a state of mind. Arjuna is a very nice person, very good and intelligent person, but at the situation, he is put in that kind of a state of mind of total ignorance, so that he will start asking very nice, relevant questions. And based on the questions, Bhagavad Gita, the essence or the secret or the entire knowledge of Bhagavad Gita will come out. So this is what we are asking. In another sloka also Prabhupada is mentioning, right? As a natural devotee of Lord, Arjuna did not like to retaliate against his miscreant cousins and brothers, but it was the Lord's plan that they should all be killed. Okay. So we saw about violence also. I think in the previous section we saw about violence. Is violence important or required? Yeah, yes. On certain situations, violence is also. So we have seen this portion. So let's get into. So some of the questions you should understand. What are the reasons for Arjuna not fighting, not willing to fight? What is the progressive steps to destruction? So if the men are killed, then women will be exploited. Women exploited, then unwanted progeny. Then unwanted progeny will lead to chaos in the society. All those things got understood. So Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Lord so that human society can be perfectly organized from all angles, politically, socially, economically, philosophically. Okay. Let's get into second chapter. Somebody want to read the sloka? Go ahead.
Sanjay uvacha tam tata कृपयाविष्टम् अश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणम् विषिदन्तमिदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदन. Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana Krishna spoke the following words. Purport. Material compassion, lamentation are all sign of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. The word Madhusudana is significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken him in the discharge of his duty. No one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of drowning man is senseless. A man fallen in the ocean of nations cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. And lament for the outward dress is called Akshudra, or one who laments unnecessary. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and this conduct was not expected from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man, and for this purpose, the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. This chapter instructs us in self-realization by an analytical study of material body and the spirit soul, as explained by the Supreme Authority, Lord Sri Krishna. This realization is possible when one works with creative results and is situated in the fixed conception.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. It is very nice. This entire chapter we need to understand thoroughly. It requires a lot of more groundwork and patience for second chapter, because second chapter is one of the very important chapters throughout Bhagavad Gita of the 18 chapters. Because Prabhupada named it as, what is the second chapter's name?
Gita summary.
Yeah, the entire Bhagavad Gita is summarized in the 72 slokas, which means the portion of Karma Yoga, the portion of Atma Sakshakaram, self-realization, the portion of Jnana Yoga, the portion of Bhakti Yoga, everything is within the 72 slokas. Okay, one section will talk about Karma, one section will talk about Jnana, another section will talk about Bhakti, everything compressed together, and then the final conclusion also is there. Okay, so that is why this chapter is considered very important, because Krishna gives Arjuna a precursor or a glimpse of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so even before getting into the very detailed understanding about Jnana, detailed understanding about Karma, detailed understanding of Bhakti, Krishna gives a particular teaser to Arjuna to see that whether he is able to immediately get everything, right? It is like in movies or in whatever books and all, you see they'll give some kind of a teaser, a pre-read thing. So if you're able to get that understood, then that will invoke more interest in asking questions or more interest in getting the details of it. So that is where we can see. So that is why Prabhupada named this as Gita, Bhagavad Gita or Gita or summarized. Okay, so in normal way, it is called as Buddhi Yoga. Okay, Buddhi Yoga is nothing but more of getting the knowledge and intelligence of this. So that is where it starts with all the details of it. So this chapter is again divided into four major categories. We'll get into the categories a little later. But from the first sloka, we can see Prabhupada is talking about material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the self. Okay. So what is meant by material compassion? Any idea?
Just having a bodily conception of life.
Bodily concept of life. You see somebody like, oh, this particular person is suffering. Oh, let me try to help this person. So which means it is seeing through an outward or a bodily way of exhibiting their compassion. For example, you are seeing somebody who's not supposed to do certain activities, but just by seeing them, you feel like, no, I'm very compassionate with them, so let me help them. So that is not the right way of seeing. So that is why we need to be very clear when you want to exhibit your compassion. It requires a lot of intelligence to identify to whom you have to show compassion. Okay, so that is what Prabhupada is making. Compassion for a dress of a drowning man is senseless. So you don't show compassion to a person who is outwardly more into Maya, who is more into act of performing a lot of abominable activities. We should never do that. For example, you see a person who's drunk or who's drinking or who's doing all kind of abominable activities. So for that person, if you show compassion, what does it mean? We are not big sannyasis or big stalwart devotees or great persons to have that kind of a identity. But we are all in the normal bandha, or we are all in the bounded state. So that is why we need to be very clear in using our intelligence. Okay. So Prabhupada is mentioning Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of ignorance for the purpose Bhagavad Gita was saying. So what is one of the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to remove ignorance, is to clear our avidya, is to bring the intelligence or the knowledge to that particular person. Okay. So now the state of mind is we don't know what we don't know, correct? And we know that what we know we are supposed to know also we don't know, right? So that is the state of mind. So if somebody asks you, do you know? We even don't know what we are supposed to not know. So that is where we are a state of mind. So that is where ignorance is at the lowest level. Okay. So this chapter instructs us in self-realization. Self-realization in Sanskrit is called as Atma Sakshakar. Okay. So Atma Sakshakaram, and then something called as Buddhi Yoga, or analytical study of the Jiva and the material body. So that those things will come in the second chapter. And finally, some portion of karma, some portion of jnana, and some portion of bhakti is also covered. So we'll continue.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutastva Kasmalam Nidam Vishame Samupastitam Anarya Jastam Asvargyam Akirti Karam Arjuna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead to higher planets. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy. Purport. Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are identical. Therefore, Lord Krishna is referred to as Bhagwan throughout the Gita. Bhagwan is the ultimate in the absolute truth. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding, namely Brahman, or the impersonal, all-pervasive spirit, Paramatma, or the localized aspect of the Supreme within the heart of all living entities, and Bhagwan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 1-11, this conception of the absolute truth is explained thus. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yaj ginanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwan iti sabhyate. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding by the knower of the absolute truth, and all of them are identical. Such phases of the absolute truth are expressed as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. These three divine aspects can be explained by the example.
Can somebody Mataji lead? Can any of the Matajis lead? Thank you. Thank you, Anushka.
These three divine aspects can be explained by the example of the sun, which also has three different aspects, namely the sunshine, the sun's surface, and sun planet itself. One who studies the sunshine only is the preliminary student. One who understands the sun is further advanced, and one who can enter into the sun planet is the highest. Ordinary students who are satisfied by simply understanding the sunshine, its universal pervasiveness, and the glaring effulgence of its impersonal nature, may be compared to those who can realize only the Brahman future of the Absolute Truth. The student who has advanced still further can know the sun disk, who is compared to knowledge of the Paramatma future of the Absolute Truth. And the student who can enter into the heart of the sun planet is compared to those who realize the personal futures of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Therefore, the Bhaktas or the Transcendentalists who have realized the Bhagavan future of the Absolute Truth are the topmost Transcendentalists. Although all students who are engaged in the study of Absolute Truth are engaged in the same subject matter, the sunshine, the sun disk, and the inner affairs of the sun planet cannot be separated from one another. And yet, the students of three different phases are not in the same category. The Sanskrit word
Thank you,
Bhagavan
Mataji.
is
Just hold on. Thank you, Mataji. So this portion is very important. We need to understand or identify who is Krishna and what is the definition of Supreme Person of Godhead. Right? Throughout ISKCON, throughout Bhagavad Gita, throughout all the places, they will use this word Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? We have seen. So how do we define or what is the exact definition of Supreme Person of Godhead? Okay. So Supreme Person of Godhead is a direct meaning towards what is called as Bhagavan. Okay. So which means Bhagavan is the absolute truth, or whom we are supposed to know, or whom we are supposed to follow, or whom we are supposed to surrender. So whatever be it, the ultimate goal, ultimate truth, ultimate end result, everything is Bhagavan. Okay, so that is where we can see. Then Prabhupada is giving this understanding of Vadanti tat tattvam tat jnanam advayam. Brahmeti paramatmeti Bhagavan is it. So which means the Bhagavan portion or the Supreme Person of Godhead is realized in three different aspects. One is the localized Paramatma, the Brahman realization first level, then the Paramatma, and then the Supreme Personality God, or the absolute person. Okay. So when we say absolute person who has a transcendental body, who is permanently residing in Vrindavana. So that is the ultimate portion of Bhagavan realization. But the same Bhagavan realization, when we want to come down as a localized way, he is sitting in everybody's heart, is called as Paramatma, and his energy. The energy is again divided into spiritual, material, everything. But that energy is split or is spread across the entire manifestation, entire cosmic manifestation, across the universes, whatever we see as nature, or whatever we see as different buildings, trees, whatever be it, the Panchabhutas, whatever be it, is called the Brahman realization. Okay, that is very important. So from this chapter onwards, specific understanding about the knowledge of Bhagavan is also brought up. Okay, so one portion is called the Jnana Yoga, or the yoga by which we are able to understand Krishna, understand the Supreme Bhagavan, understand his localized Paramatma feature, understand his Brahman feature, is all being brought up. So this is the knowledge portion. So this portion, and then this Prabhupada is giving a wonderful analogy. So throughout Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself gives a lot of analogy. Analogy means a particular description, and for that description, a particular set of example is being. So what is the example Prabhupada is being is called the sun rays and the sun's effulgence. So the sun disk is there, which is kind of the planet sun. By physically it is present, and when it comes out,
sun rays.
And when it comes out, the rays or the rays that starts coming is the effulgence portion. The rays and then the effulgence. So throughout the entire thing, when the sun comes out, the brightness and everything comes out. So this is how we see three aspects of the sun. Similarly, we can understand the three aspects of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Okay, so very important understanding we should have to understand. Okay, let's continue. Now, Prabhupada will talk about what is meant by the word Bhagavan. Anybody else?
The Sanskrit word Bhagavan is explained by the great authority Parasara Muni, the father of Vyasadeva, the Supreme Personality who possesses all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation is called Bhagavan. There are many persons who are very rich, very powerful, very beautiful, very famous, very learned, and very much detached. But no one can claim that he possesses all riches, all strength, etc. entirely. Only Krishna can claim this because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No living entity, including Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Narayana, can possess opulences as full as Krishna. Therefore, it is concluded in Brahma Samhita by Lord Brahma himself that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one is equal to or above him. He is the primeval Lord or Bhagavan, known as Govinda, and he is the supreme cause of all causes. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. There are many personalities. There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan, but Krishna is the supreme because none can excel him. He is the supreme person and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the primeval Lord Govinda and the cause of all causes. Brahma Samhita 5.1. In the Bhagavatam also, there is a list of many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Krishna is described as the original personality of Godhead, from whom many incarnations and personalities of Godhead expand. इति च कलापं च कृष्णस्तु भगवान् स्वयं इंद्रादिव्याकुलं लोकं नृत्यन्ति युगे युगे. All the list of the incarnations of Godhead submitted herewith are either plenary expansion or parts of the plenary expansions of the Supreme Godhead. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Bhagavad Gita 1.3.28. Therefore, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, the source of both the Super Soul and the impersonal Brahman.
Okay, Balaji, thank you. So, this section is all about how Parashara Muni or Parashara Bhattar gives the definition of what is meant by the word Bhagavan. So Bhagavan means one who possesses all the six opulences in total or in full. So what does it mean? So some of them will have partially certain things. Some of them will have one or two more extra. But only the Bhagavan or the Supreme Lord has got everything in total. Like for example, you talk about strength, he is the supermost person in strength. Somebody talking about beauty, he is the most beautiful. Knowledge, he is the most knowledgeable. Renunciation or Tyaga or Vairagya is all, who is the most toppest is Krishna. Okay, so in whatever be it, he is called as the Bhagavan. Who is the most richest, he is the most richest. Most famous, he is the most famous. So in that way, what Prabhupada is saying, if somebody is saying I am Bhagavan, you have to ask them, how do you define this? Like you are Bhagavan means this is how we need to understand. And throughout all the scriptures, the word Bhagavan is exclusively for Krishna. Sometimes his pure devotees like Narada, Brahma, and few of them are also addressed as Bhagavan, but more in terms of identifying them as wonderful devotees of the Lord. Okay. Brahma Samhita also. Prabhupada is quoting this Brahma Samhita portion and Bhagavatam also. Okay, so this is very big. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indradi Vyapam Lokam Mrigyanti Yuga Yuga. So Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So whenever we say Bhagavan, it is Krishna only, and then there's nobody else. So most importantly, how do we identify? All other things are incarnations or plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions. So whomsoever we try to identify, they are all the other expansions only, and not the original personality of the Supreme Personality. Okay. So now comes this last section of this para is all about this particular sloka. So if you see this sloka is starting with Bhagavan Uvacha. So everywhere you'll say Uchuhu or Uvacha means speaking. So this is where first thing Krishna is talking, and Prabhupada is utilizing the word Bhagavan to express or identify, give the understanding of who is the Bhagavan. Yes, that is where we saw so much of details. Now coming to the slokas understanding. What is the sloka? Sloka is all about from where you got this impurities. Kutasvam kashmalam idam, or kushmalam idam vishanante samupastitam. Kashmalam means this impurity. The impurity of what? Impurity of mind, impurity of the knowledge, impurity of the intelligence that is not. Sometimes when we talk or when somebody talks, we can see whether they are talking in the real sense or completely nonsense, right? So that is what Krishna is asking. What nonsense you are talking? In fact, Krishna is a little angry with Arjuna initially. Hey, you are supposed to be a Kshatriya, you're supposed to fight, you have come all the way this one. But so trying to provoke or trying to tease Krishna in that way. Okay. So where you talk like a great pandit, you talk like all big things, but now what happened? So in such a way, Arjuna's state of mind is more kind of brought down. He's like, yeah, I am already in a very low state. I'm already in a very crying state. Now somebody provokes you to make you more cry. What will happen? You'll feel like more remorse, right? What is this? I come here to seek some solace or some kind of thing from Krishna, but Krishna is again making me more sad. Right? So that is what is happening. Okay, let's read this last paragraph. Yeah.
In the presence of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna's lamentation for his kinsman is certainly unbecoming, and therefore Krishna expressed his surprise to the word Kutaha, where from? Known as Aryans. The word Aryan is applicable to the person who know the value of life and have a civilization based on a spiritual realization. Persons who are led by the material conception of life do not know that the aim of life is realization of the absolute truth, Vishnu or Bhagwan, and they are captivated by the external feature of the material world, and therefore they do not know what liberation is. Persons who have no knowledge of liberation from material bondage are called non-Aryans. Although Arjuna was a Kshatriya, he was deviating from his prescribed duties by declining to fight. This act of cowards is described as befitting the non-Aryans. Such deviation from duty does not help one in the progress of spiritual life, nor does it even give one the opportunity to become famous in this world. Lord Krishna did not approve of the so-called compassion of Arjuna for his kinsman.
Okay, thank you, Guru. So this section is where Arjuna is being asked by Krishna, what are you supposed to do? You are a Kshatriya, you are supposed to fight. From where your mind is getting impure, and you're just talking all kind of blabbering things that this, that, and all. You're talking about, oh, I will not fight because this papam will come. I will not fight because this will come. All these things are complete nonsense. You're supposed to fight. That's all. So Krishna is trying to make a clear statement. No. Don't all talk about all these. Just go and fight. Okay, being a Kshatriya. And whatever compassion or whatever that lamentation portion that you're showing is not at all befitting for you. You are a Kshatriya, you are supposed to fight, and I will not agree to it. I will not approve it. That is very easy. So Kashmalam means impurity. Okay. So this is first. Anari Jushtam Aswargyam Akirti Kinju. So it will Akirti. Kirti means you will get a lot of famous, like you become more famous, and then Akirti means if you don't fight, you will get only Akirti. Like somebody will tease you, some back talking will happen. Yeah, this Arjuna came, he's called as Dhananjaya, he's called as Ghandiva person. But see, he came to the war, he just ran away. Okay? Do you want that kind of Akirti to a Kshatriya like you? No, right? You are supposed to fight. Please fight. Okay, come, let's go to the next sloka.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, sorry, just one small question.
Yes.
There is a mention that no living entity, including Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Narayana, can possess opulences as fully as Krishna.
Correct.
So the Narayana is in which planetary platform that?
Narayana is in the Vaikuntha Lokas. He is an expansion having all the 60 qualities. Like there are 64 qualities defined as per Shastras. So Narayana expansion is when he comes from the Mahavishnu or the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. He will have all the almost the Vishnu form will have all the qualities, but only the last four of having the prema, madhurya, all those specific things will not be there for Narayana form. That's all.
So it is not that the Krishna and Narayana form is totally different.
Yes, Krishna and Narayana form is distinct. So from Krishna as the Supreme Lord, when he decides to expand, he will first come as the great Karnodakshaya Vishnu. And from Karnodakshaya Vishnu, the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Shirodakshaya Vishnu. So ideally, Shirodakshaya Vishnu, who is in the Milky Ocean or with Lakshmi Devi, is considered as Narayana.
Okay. And what about the Vishnu form?
So Vishnu form is called as the Nara. So when we come into the fourth chapter, I will detail you about the different avatars. But I'll just leave Vishnu form is there. Vishnu form has got multiple sections of it. Somebody in one Vishnu form he's reclining, he's sleeping posture. In other form he'll have a Chaturbhuja form. And Narayana means Narayana. Narayana means he's like the person who is sleeping in the Parkadal or in the Milky Ocean. Okay. So that is what he's being defined as, and Narayana, okay, which means this in the sleeping position he's there. That's why he's called as like that, and he'll be in the Chaturbhuja form also. Okay, he'll be having this Shankha Chakra Gada Padmam is also called as Narayana. So both the ways we can see.
Sure.
The Paramatma form is also the 400.
400. Generally, the description of the Lord is we'll have Kritam, he'll have the Kaustuba jewel, he'll have the Vanamali garland, he will have Sangha Chakra Gada Padmam. So that is the standard on Garuda or on, if he comes, he'll be coming on Garuda and while traveling, but otherwise he'll be sleeping on the Ananda Sesha. So that is what he's being identified.
Shall I read? Next
Yes,
one.
Anand Prabhu, yes.
क्लैब्यम्मास्मगमः पार्थ नैतत्त्वय्युपपद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदयदौर्बल्यं त्यक्त्वोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप. O son of Prutha, do not yield to this degrading importance. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Arjun was addressed as the son of Prutha, who happened to be the sister of Krishna's father Vasudeva. Therefore, Arjun had a blood relationship with Krishna. If the son of a Kshatriya declines to fight, he is a Kshatriya in name only. And if the son of a Brahmana acts impiously, he is a Brahmana in name only. Such Kshatriyas and Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their fathers. Therefore, Krishna did not want Arjun to become an unworthy son of a Kshatriya. Arjun was the most intimate friend of Krishna, and Krishna was directly guiding him on the chariot. But in spite of all these credits, if Arjun abandoned the battle, he would be committing an infamous act. Therefore, Krishna said that such an attitude in Arjun did not fit his personality. Arjun might argue that he would give up the battle on the grounds of his magnanimous attitude for the most respectable Bhishma and his relatives, but Krishna considered that sort of magnanimity mere weakness of heart. Such false magnanimity was not approved by any authority. Therefore, such magnanimity or so called non violence should be given up by persons like Arjun, direct guidance of Krishna.
Okay, thank you. So the previous sloka ends where Krishna does not approve the compassionate nature, right? The first sloka, the second sloka is all about what Arjuna's compassion. Like Lord Krishna did not approve the so-called compassion. So now Krishna is not approving the so-called magnanimity or the so-called non-violence also. So what is that magnanimity of Arjuna? What was magnanimity of Arjuna?
He did not want to kill the
Yeah,
Kauravas and the
yeah. So
their
he's like,
accomplices.
as though he's like, no, oh, they are all this one. Let me not fight with them. Let me just give it up. Let them this one. So he's as though like, it's a big, very magnanimous. But actually, that is not magnanimity. Magnanimity comes when you try to give something really, offering something which is you possess, and then you give it out. That is called magnanimity. Now that thing he has done, so chose to give magnanimity. So very clearly, Prabhupada wants to bring that non-violence also. So Krishna is making it very clear. You are supposed to fight as a Kshatriya. And if you don't fight as a Kshatriya, he's making it like, Kshatriyas, Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their fathers. Because if they don't follow the dharma, they don't follow this one, then they are unworthy sons. Okay, so Krishna did not want Arjuna to become unworthy son of Kshatriya. Okay. So the word Prita is also understood. And so for his personality, it does not right, it is not good. So he has to fight means he has to fight against whom Krishna is trying to. Okay. So it is mere weakness of heart. Very nice word. Okay. So sometimes we think, oh, I will try to be magnanimous. Oh, I'll try to, but that is actually weakness of heart. We are not able to do. We'll just simply say, oh, I'm just giving it up. I will just. So that is not magnanimity. Okay. Magnanimity comes when you give something. Okay. When you offer something, or when you give up something, that is called as magnanimity. So these are all false magnanimity. This is what Krishna is saying, and then Arjuna again from 4th onwards he's talking.
Prabhu, I will study.
Yeah.
Arjuna uvaच katam bhishmam haha sanke dronam cha madhusudana ishubi paritoshyami pujarva arisudana. Translation. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counteract with arrows in the battle? Men like Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship. Purport. Respectable superiors like Bhishma, the father, the grandfather, and Dronacharya, the teachers are always worshipable. Even if they attack, they should not counteract it. It is generally etiquette the superior are not to be offered even a verbal fight. Even if they are some harsh in behavior, they should not harshly treated. Then how would possible for Arjuna to counteract them? How would Krishna even attack his own grandfather Ugrasena or his teacher Sandipa Muni? These were some of the arguments offered by Arjuna to Krishna.
Okay, so this is the last astra, like very last thing that Arjuna is trying to put forth to Krishna. So he tried all the means in the first chapter. What is left out is the most important thing nobody can say. See, you are asking me to this one. They are like Pradhiyotsami Pujarva Arisudana. Okay, so Katam Bhishmam Aham Sanke Dronascha Madhusudana Ishubhihi Pradishyomi. See, how do you expect me to fight Krishna? I have Dronacharya, I have Bhishma. They are like worshipable persons. They are like devatas. They are like my acharya and my grandfather. So they are supposed to be worshipable. How do you expect me to go and fight with them? Right? So they should not be harshly treated. So this is like a kind of last few sections where he is making it more last ultimate thing. Okay, I will not, because they are. So he is trying to bring in another set of reason that I will not kill. Okay. Then Prabhupada is adding to that. Prabhupada, what is saying? Hey Krishna, you are talking about me to fight against my own grandfather, my own acharya. Will you go and fight against your acharya Sandipa Muni, or will you fight against Ugrasena? So what will be the answer? So that is what Krishna will answer. So Prabhupada is adding a kind of little pepper or something. Okay? So Arjuna is saying, hey, you are not, I will not fight. And Prabhupada is adding to that. Yes, hey Krishna, when Sandipani Muni or when Ugrasena comes fight, will you fight? These kinds of things is putting it on. So this sloka is Bhishma Aham Sankhya Dronam Cha Madhusudana. Madhusudana is again mentioned. Last line is also Arisudana. Okay, Arisudana means killer of all the enemies. So he is a person, he is addressing, Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Arisudana.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, Sheetala Mataji, please.
Text 5. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan श्रेयो भोक्तुं भैक्षमि अपि सलोके अत्वार्थकामास्तु गुरूनेहैव भुञ्जीय भोगान् रुधिरप्रतीतान्. Translation. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Purport. According to spiritual course, a teacher who engages in an abominable action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to be abandoned. Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the side of Dronacharya because of his financial assistance. Although they should not have accepted such position simply of financial considerations, under the circumstances, they have lost the respectability of teachers. But Arjuna thinks that nevertheless they remain his spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life, which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion.
Okay, Mataji, thank
No
you.
one wants fire,
Hmm.
and yet it takes place,
Thank you,
and
Mataji.
we become perplexed. The
Hare
Vedic wisdom, Haribol,
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Haribol, thank you.
So very nicely, this sloka is also making Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan. So they are all Mahanubhava, they are all great, great Mahanubhava, great souls, great Atmas. And if we kill them, it is better to go and beg and bhaikshikum. Bhaikshikum means it is better to go and do begging rather than killing them. Because if it is tainted in blood, right? So somebody will say, the sword is tainted in blood, which means something happened more violently in killing somebody and then making that particular act. So that is what is called as tainted blood. The word tainted blood is also used in many places, but I'm just killing you with this one. So there's no point me enjoying this material world after killing everybody. So that is what is point, and that is also making it very clear. Even though Bhishma and Dronacharya have some kind of a binding towards the Kuru dynasty, but still I'm not going to fight against them because Duryodhana supported them, or the entire Kuru dynasty was kind of binded for both Bhishma and Drona, so they have to take that particular position. Right? But Prabhupada is making, because they have done that particular thing, they have lost their respectability as teachers. Okay, so this is very important. So in Mahabharata, why Bhishma and Dronacharya or everybody are made to kill is because of this reason. Okay? So how do we understand? For example, in Ramayana, Vibhishana had a choice. Right? Kumbhakarna also had a choice. What is the choice of both Kumbhakarna and Vibhishana?
To take which side?
To take which side. Okay. So when it comes to use of intelligence and identifying which side, both of them were very loyal to their brother Ravana. Both of them were very close. They were all brought together. They all everything. But when it comes to the moment where when dharma, or when the principal duty has to come, Vibhishana is glorified because even though he came against his own brother, even though he revolted against his brother, even though he came to the enemy side, he is still considered a great devotee of the Lord because he took Lord's side. So sometimes we will, in one sense, all the asuras were against Vibhishana. All the asuras were like, all the Ravana were like, what is this Vibhishana? He did this thing. But they glorified Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna also, at some point of time, he was made this choice, that the Kumbhakarna took the choice, what I have been fed for many years by my brother, and I will have to perform my duty. In one sense, you will say, yeah, it is correct only, no? So you are like Karna, right? The Karna also, he was protected or taken care by Duryodhana. So that is why Karna fought. But if the same Karna had thought like, my duty is bound towards the Lord. My duty is not bound by material entanglement or through to whom I'm serving. I'm serving the Supreme Lord. Then Karna would have been got glorified, right? Similar to Vibhishana. So in that way, the same thing we apply to Bhishma and Drona also. So Bhishma and Drona, even though they are very nice personalities, great this one, but still they were made to sit in the Kuru group, and then they had to undergo this kind of this kind of an activity, and then they were kind of made to fight against the Pandavas. Okay, so in that way, Prabhupada is also making it very clear. Okay. So this is the last portion of it. Let's go.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Ram Prabhu, yes, Prabhu.
Na chaidat vitma katranno karyo yatva jayame yativa no jayayuka yan eva hatva na jiji vishamas devastitaha pramuke dardarashtraha. Translation: nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Purport: Arjuna did not know whether he should fight and risk unnecessary violence, although fighting is the duty of the Kshatriyas, or whether he should refrain and live by begging. If he did not conquer the enemy, begging would he is only means of subsistence. Nor was there certainty of victory because either side might emerge victorious. Even if victory awaited them and their cause was justified, still, if the son of Dhritarashtra died in the battle, it would be very difficult to live in their absence. Under the circumstances, that would be another kind of defeat for them. All these considerations by Arjuna definitely proved that not only was he a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. His desire to live by begging, although he was born in the royal household, is another sign of detachment. He was truly virtuous, as these qualities, combined with his faith in the words of instruction of Sri Krishna, his spiritual master, indicate. It is concluded that Arjuna was quite fit for liberation. Unless the senses are controlled, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. And without knowledge and devotion, there is no chance of liberation. Arjuna was competent in all these attributes over and above his enormous attributes in his material relationship. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, there was some small distance. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So this sloka is also again adding this last nachat vidma kartaram na gariyo, which means what he's saying, even if they kill or if I'm getting conquered by them, both are kind of in a way where both are same. I don't know which is better. So now slowly he is turning towards. If you see this last three slokas, now his state of mind is what is he saying? I don't know what I'm trying to do, whether right or wrong. So he is making it like in a situation where in a state of mind, you start talking, right? Is it really should I do it or should I not do it? Whether what am I doing? I don't know what is right or wrong. So these are all some of the ways which Arjuna is trying to express. So at some point of time, he's making it in a state where he's saying, oh, I don't know what is right or wrong. Prabhupada is also making this quality. He was truly virtuous. He had all the qualities, but still Arjuna was in a state of he's a perfect person. He's quite fit for liberation, everything, but still he was in a state where he doesn't know what is right, what is real knowledge, what is that he has to do. So all those qualities are also being brought out. Okay? So that then when you are fit enough to get to receive knowledge, then you are put in a certain particular situation, and then you get into knowledge. For example, if you want to go from one particular grade to another grade, what is it? You will be made to undergo certain studies, certain exercises, certain things, so that you are prepared. You're prepared for the next level. You're prepared for the next grade. You're prepared to go to the next class. Right? So that is what is now happening for Arjuna. What is Arjuna's state of mind? Is completely bewilderment, complete confusion, complete full of anxiety, full of lamentation, all the perplexities. The next section will come. Perplexities means a lot of back and forth confusion. What is right? What is wrong? Which is to be done? Which is not to be done? Whether to come out or not to come out. So all those things are there, right? So those are all some of the confusions. And Arjuna is put in that state of mind so that he will make it very clear and then start asking questions. This is the very important sloka. Maybe we'll take a 5 minutes break. Okay, 2 minutes break we'll take, and then we'll come back. Okay, we'll try to finish it till this sloka, and then we will close it for today. We'll just take a 5 minutes break. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Somebody read this sloka, very, very important sloka, sloka number 7. Karpanya dosho bhata swabhavaha prichami tvam dharma samura chetaha yashreyashan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. Hare Krishna. Are we back or no?
Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. By nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. In every step, there is perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master, one who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life, which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexities, but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purport of this verse. Who is the man in material perplexities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life.
Yeah, hold on. This para is a very important para. So, what is this sloka? This is the important sloka in which Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. So, Karpanya dosho upahada swabhavaha prichami tam dharma samuda chetaha. Samuda, I'm completely bewildered in my heart. I don't know what I'm doing because of my weakness. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Okay. But what is more importantly is this portion. Shreyaha shyat nishchitam bruhi tanme. Okay. So what is, for example, if you go and ask somebody, what is that we'll ask for somebody on which is good for me? right? If you go and ask, if you ask, you seek an advice to your acharya, or if you seek advice with your parents, or you seek advice to your seniors, what is that you will ask is for your benefit, right? What is that you want? But what is more important is, I might think this is right to me, right? This is the best to me. But what is more important is the person to whom I'm asking, he knows better what is best to me than I myself find. You getting it? Clear? See, I will say I want this, okay? But the person to whom I'm asking will know better that no, this is not good for you. I'll give you something else. This is the advice. Okay? So that is how Arjuna is asking Krishna. What is he saying? Krishna, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm thinking this is the way, but I know that you know what is best for me. Right? So that is how we approach Krishna. So this is one of the very nice way of offering prayers to Krishna, a nice way of asking Krishna. So what do we ask Krishna? Krishna, give me this. Krishna, give me that. No. Krishna, you know what is best for me. Krishna, you are the best person to know what is fitting for me. Please give me that. Yes, Shreyasam, Nishchitam Bruhitanme. Definitely, please tell me what is best for me. What is best for me. So that is where why Arjuna is being glorified. This is one of the main points, because he is making it very clear. I am your disciple. I don't know what to do. All these things are okay. But when it comes to revealing the heart, when it comes to submission, most of the acharyas will say, you go and ask your guru. What is that you have to ask your guru? Is not that already something is fixed in your mind. You just ask him, can I do that? Can I do that? No. You have to ask him, what is best for me? Then acharya will give you the solution. You already decide something and then go and ask, can I do this way? So your state of mind is already kind of partially fixed. And what is that they'll do okay or not okay? If they say don't do it, then again we are in a trouble. Like, your mind will never fully accept. Okay. But still, in some corner of your heart or mind, you will feel like, yeah, I thought this will happen, but see, my boss didn't allow me, or my. So that is where you have to be very clear when you seek saranagati, when you seek solution, when you seek advice. You have to be very clear in what is that you are put forth. You have to have a very clear mind. Whatever that particular person says, you have to accept. Okay, so that is what Arjuna's state of mind. So now he's saying, I don't know what is best for me. I know that you know what is best for me. So please advise me. So that is why I am becoming your shishya. I am becoming your me shishyam he tvam prapannam. What is he saying? Sadimam prapanne. So I am ready to take your instructions. This is the qualification of a student or a disciple or a person who is willing to surrender to the Lord. So leave out the compassion, leave out the knowledge, leave out all those things will come later. But you should be ready to have that kind of a state of mind that whatever the opposite person or the person to whom you are seeking help gives, you should be in a state of mind to accept it. Clear? So the Prabhupada is talking about perplexities of life. Very nice word. Perplexities of life is all kind of turbulences, and it's kind of forest fire, right? What is meant forest fire? Generally, how do you understand this forest fire with perplexities of life?
It starts on its own.
Starts on its own. Perfect. Then
It's uncontrolled.
uncontrolled. Perfect. Then so it comes correct. So it comes as though nothing can stop them. It will come. It will definitely coming. It will definitely come, and it will not see any kind of parabhatsham. Parabhatsham in Sanskrit is like any kind of partiality. It will destroy. It will come. It will bring for everybody. For example, for a few years back we had Corona. So it didn't bother about a very sophisticated person or a poor person or intelligent person. Corona comes, it comes for everybody. That's all. There's nothing like this and that. Okay. So whatever extent maximum precaution you take, you are saved. Otherwise, it is universally coming. So the perplexity of life is there for everybody. Everybody will have some kind of a problem. Everybody will. So when the forest fire comes, irrespective of all kind of animals, whether it is flying animal, a small insect, or a big animal, whatever be it, what kind of a trees, all kind of trees, everything will be destroyed. Okay. So that is what Prabhupada is also making it very nicely. Okay. So that is why we need to approach a bona fide spiritual master, so that we will be able to come out of this point. Okay. So that is why we need an acharya to get into coming out of this meeting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next sloka. Next part. Clear? Any doubt? This sloka?
Who is the man in material perplexities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the perplexed man is described as follows. Yo va etad aksharam gargi avidita asmal lokat praitisa krupanaha. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human and who thus quits this world like the cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. This human form of life is most valuable asset for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there is a Brahman or he who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. Ya etadaksharam gargi viditasmal lokat praitisa brahmana. The Kripanas, the next part also goes. The Kripanas or miserly persons waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. in the material conception of life. One is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other members on the basis of skin disease. The Krupana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death, or the Krupana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Such family attachment can be found even in the lower animals who take care of children also. Being intelligent, Arjun could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of his perplexities. Although he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, still, on account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talks between the master and the disciple are serious, and now Arjun wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjun is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjun understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself, and yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna's within and without, and one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you, Prabhu. So this para is also very nice, important para. So much of knowledge, so much of intelligence, so much of things Prabhupada is mentioning. So first word is about Kripana. Kripana means miserliness. Sometimes we also, in a very cheap way, we'll think that, oh, this is being over. So sometimes we overcome with our compassion, overcome with certain perplexities, and we don't know what is right or wrong. So that is why the first word, Karpanya dosha. Okay, so it's kind of a dosham, it's kind of a weakness that is being mourned. Okay. So being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection, family, etc. is all causes of his perplexities. So now he is becoming intelligent. So slowly from ignorance, he is becoming. What is this intelligent? It's not about gaining knowledge. Intelligence about surrendering to the Lord. Intelligence about accepting that I don't know. Intelligence about asking clarifications with Krishna. Okay. So that is where the smartness comes. So if you are very smart enough, you ask right questions to the teacher and get your questions clarified. Right? But if you are still just being like ignorant and this one, you will never get that answer at all. Right? So that is where the intelligent portion of that particular student or a disciple comes. That Arjuna is demonstrating, and the Krishna Prabhupada is making very clear. Now the role play of a friend, role play of a chariot driver versus a particular Kshatriya is changing into what? A disciple and a student. Sorry, a disciple and a guru, or a student and a teacher. Okay, an acharya and a shishya. So Prabhupada is making it. Who is the original spiritual master? Krishna is the original master. Okay. So the entire science of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is giving through Arjuna, because Arjuna is ready to accept it. Arjuna is most qualified to accept it, and he is asking all kind of very specific, intelligent questions also. And until otherwise you don't submit to Krishna, until otherwise you don't surrender to the teacher, you will never be able to understand the knowledge. Okay, so that is very important. So very importantly, we need to accept whatever the position of that particular person. So Arjuna accepted Krishna's position. Arjuna accepted Krishna as his kind of acharya. Then he starts asking. So Prabhupada is making the last line is very nice. And one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand. So if we try to understand Bhagavad Gita without accepting Krishna, if we try to understand Bhagavad Gita without Krishna's words, then we will never try to get Bhagavad Gita. So we have to accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord. We have to accept whatever Krishna says is 100% correct. Then only we will be able to get Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, Bhagavad Gita, we will never be able to get Bhagavad Gita. What is Krishna is within and without? There is no difference between Krishna within and without. What is that?
No difference from his name and himself.
Yeah, no difference between his name and form. No difference between his energy. Wherever he is the same personality. So all those things will come in the next sections. Okay, so this is where Arjuna, the final conclusion of his compassion, his anxiety, everything leading to surrender. So now talks between master and disciples are very serious. So we'll stop here in this section, but I will just take 5 minutes to run through the manual today. So how many of you are there? 10 of you. Okay. Just run through the specific manual. Okay, I'll just check what is there in the Karpanya dosha. Okay. Madhusudana portion we have already covered. So, yeah. So I'm confused about my duty. This is where we are. Dharma Samuda Chetaha. I'm your disciple. We'll do this exercise next week. What is meant by Dharma Samuda Chetaha? So, like, accordingly, we will know, like, what is it, where are we in identifying what is our position versus the Lord, and how are we approaching the Lord. Okay, we will read this portion, but before that, I'll just run it through the Okay, you're able to see the screen?
Yes, Prabhu.
I'll share this document later. You can just go through, but then slowly each of the sections when we go. See, this is a kind of a handbook for the entire Bhakti Shastri course. And you can go through the course, this one. So how are we dividing this particular section? We have to just go through, okay? So first is all about unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, and 4, unit 5. Chapter 1 to 6, chapter 7 to 12, 13 to 18, nectar of devotion, nectar of insection, and Ishopanishad. So this is the course coverage or syllabus of Bhakti Shastri. Being portion. So totally it will be around 12 to 18 then 10 to 14. So totally it will be around 30, 50, 60, 70, 75 classes. Okay, 75 classes. So it will take about 10 to 11 months to complete for us. So how it is divided, as I told you the other day, we have open book assessment, like you need to write an essay or something in either in whatever language you want to write, in Hindi, you want to write in your own language, that is also okay. Then we'll have some small test, very specifically closed book, like one particular session, what is it about. So then I'll give you the questions also. You have to read, you have to understand what is the answers for it, and then you have to bring it up. And then your attendance is also being marked. So you should be at least 70% above to get into that particular section. I will talk about this open book a little later. Open book is nothing but writing essay. Okay? There will be some specific sections, questions, and then I will teach you how to write that also. So we are in unit 1 now. We started with chapter 1. Chapter 1, we are starting with the chapter 2 now. Okay. So for example, from the exam point of view, what are all the questions? The questions are already here. So, so they will ask questions only from this. For example, why was Dhritarashtra fearful? List 4 signs of victory. What are the 4 signs of Pandavas? What are they?
The flag of Hanuman.
The chariot given by Agni.
Okay.
Fire.
Good. Then
Hanuman emblem.
yeah.
And
The
Krishna
place
was
itself.
himself present.
Place itself and Krishna's presence.
Krishna.
So like this, if you just go through the questions and then prepare yourself for the exam, that's all. Within 1 or 2 days, if that particular chapter is getting finished, just go through these questions and you prepare yourself. You are like all 2 marks, 1 mark or 3 mark answer only, and then you will be able to handle it. Okay.
So is it the same questions they are going to ask, or
Yeah, same question.
similar?
Same question. For example, in 100-mark exam, all come. For example, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, all together there'll be one exam. You can prepare accordingly. But my only suggestion is, whenever you finish the chapter, you go through the questions immediately. Then only you'll be able to remember the answer. Or typically you write you take a notebook and note it down separately. Or if you are maintaining it in a online document or a word pad or notepad, that is also good. So list Arjuna's arguments we had discussed in detail. List the 6 symptoms of Bhagavan, all kind of 6 opulences that we have. What is Dharma Samuda Chetaha? Just now we saw, because he's forgetting his Samuda means it is getting completely covered, or that particular knowledge, he doesn't know what is right and wrong. We'll just go through, I'll share this. Then as I told you, there are some analogies also. In first chapter, we don't have any analogy. Second chapter, we have some analogies. So we saw this sun analogy, right? Between Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. So this also we saw. You cannot rescue a person by just holding to his outer dress. Sure.
Are there verses to memorize?
Yeah, there are some specific verses to memorize. I'll let you know, Prabhu. I think it was there in the last. So I think Sujata Mataji or Bona Mataji were asking, no, what is the how do I maintain Bona Mataji? How do you maintain your sadhana sheet? You can maintain this like Mangalarti, what time you do, Tulsi Arti, Guru Puja, whatever that you're trying to do, you can just put like if you're daily reading Bhagavad Gita or Chaitanya Charitamrita, you just mention number of rounds of chanting also you can put.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the page number 14. Okay, Bhakti Shakti verses for memorization. You can just memorize, and during the test you can write that verse also. So the first chapter we don't have anything. Second chapter, 7th sloka, whatever we saw today, and few slokas. This is what the memory is. Page number 14. Before the exam, like final exam, when we have that one exam, when we have this unit 1 of 1 to 6 chapters, that time you can just memorize, and then during the test itself you can just simply write, or you can reset the sloka and send it via WhatsApp or video also. That is also. Yeah. Okay. I'll send this.
Prabhuji, will you be sending this?
Yeah. After today's class session, I'll share this.
Yeah. Okay. And those PowerPoints?
Yeah, PowerPoints also. Usually I put the PowerPoints in OneDrive because the PowerPoints are like kind of what I'll do is I'll put it in OneDrive and share it with you so that then it will be easy for you to pick it up.
Okay, Prabhuji.
That will be easy. This entire set of slides is there. We usually put it in the in OneDrive or in Google Drive. So I will share that Google Drive so that you can take it. Okay. I'll just stop here today. We'll continue next week.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Tanmay
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Krishna, thank you, Prabhuji.